All right, I know a lot of us are feeling a pinch across the United States with the high inflation, especially anybody who just tries to go through a fast food restaurant. And basically, the dollar menu is getting extinguished. Now it's going to be the $5 to $10 menu. Even in even in some areas of the United States, the Big Mac meal is about $20. Going to cover why fast food has gotten so expensive. A CNBC clip.
Big and tasty. For just $1, you did your thing, dog.
Remember the dollar menu? Well, you may be hard-pressed to find any fast food item that actually costs $1 anymore.
$17 for 3 filet of fishes at McDonald's?
Yeah, $17. I mean, what do you expect whenever people want $20 to be a cashier?
Are you kidding me?
I don't have the money to buy fast food anymore.
Would you just
Yeah, definitely, especially with all the health benefits as well too. I mean, you're gonna sit there and eat all the canola oils, the vegetable oil as well too, and they're not using the lard like they used to back in the 1950s at McDonald's. And then with the French fries, I mean, if you see reports, French fries they stay good for 6 months. A cheeseburger is good for 6 months, and then there's so many pesticides that they put onto the French fries, and then they bleach them so much so that way they all look white and they don't have those little potato markings like you would see on real ones.
miss the days when fast food was actually cheap?
When looking at fast food menus nationally, here are the average prices for fries from McDonald's, a Happy Meal,
$3.38,
and a burger combo
$4.89.
from Burger King.
Combo
But
$8.40.
I paid even more than that.
$8.74.
Here are the prices at fast food locations by the NBC offices in Midtown Manhattan.
It's gonna be another thing as well too. Depends on where you live at. I mean, if you live out in Nebraska, or if you live in New York City, if you live in anywhere in California, prices in Florida are starting to skyrocket as well too. But definitely in Washington, all these cities, the prices are just going up. And then uh, you- I'd be glad to be priced out of eating from McDonald's. I don't ever want to eat from there anyway. I heard a quarter pounder, just a patty by itself has about 1,300 different DNA strands, according to University of Nebraska research as well too.
Broadly speaking, sales are performing much stronger than foot traffic, and that's due in part to higher prices.
The Consumer Price Index measures inflation, or the average increase in prices over time. Fast food falls into the limited service meals category. Think anything that's typically ordered at a counter and taken to go. From 2019 to 2023, prices in this category are up nearly 28%. That's more than full service meals. Think sit-down restaurants with servers, which increased nearly 24%. And it's also more than overall inflation, which increased 19%.
So there we have it. Inflation is hitting the fast food market. Uh, you're probably going to start seeing a whole bunch of other In-N-Outs closing as well too. Uh, the ones outside of Oakland. But I mean, how many stores of McDonald's are going to stay open whenever it takes $20 just to get a Big Mac meal at this point? And you can already see 27%. How much has wages increased in the last 4 years from 2019 to 2023? It's not 27%.
So why are fast food prices so high, and where will they go from here? Can I please get a Titan turkey? Can I get a foot long? Yeah, just that. Between 2022 and 2023, the cost of food, beverage, and packaging rose around 11% for both McDonald's and Chipotle. Still,
Just packaging alone, just to put it inside a box has gone up 11%.
as of late, labor is the main culprit.
Is about a third of the cost of a menu item. So even as those costs moderate, in many cases, and particularly given the laws that we're seeing in California and some of the other, minimum wage laws and just increases that are happening, is that wage pressure remains elevated.
The fast food labor market.
And it's what's going to happen too is the wage inflation is going to remain elevated. So we're just going to put in more kiosks. There's just going to be more kiosks that you walk up to and you just tap what you want, and you pay right there, and there's going to be people in the back just making it. I mean, that was covered probably 15 years ago, but here we are. It's becoming a reality at this point. McDonald's says right here, McDonald's and Wendy's and other fast food brands are dealing with labor shortages. I mean, how are you going to survive if you're going to pay people $12 an hour? Sure, you don't have much of a, hopefully, hopefully it's not a situation where you don't have an education and then you're forced to just do whatever you can, because we all know that working in fast food, if you ever worked in fast food or any kind of major or low income wage job, you're going to have to live with a couple different people just to get by.
Market became increasingly competitive for employers during the pandemic as companies struggled to fill their restaurants. In 2022, the number of employees in the limited service restaurant category were still below 2019 levels. During that same time, the number of limited service establishments grew by over 4%.
As things normalized after COVID, you still see a higher amount of job openings and less people coming in to fill those jobs.
Compared to 2019, the percentage of sales that goes towards paying for labor has grown for many limited service restaurants like Wendy's and Shake Shack, where it has actually decreased for restaurants like the Cheesecake Factory and Darden Restaurants, which owns chains like Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, and the Capitol Grill.
I remember last time I went to Olive Garden, it was probably about 2 years ago. They've shrunk the menu so much, there's hardly anything. There's the unlimited bread is good. However, it's just probably like a front and back page of just spaghetti and then some sort of linguinis. Longhorn Steakhouse, I haven't been there in forever. I cook my own steaks. I don't even go to those places anymore.
In order to maintain the same service levels and expand their operating hours to accommodate the consumers' late night snack demands and demands for earlier breakfast, fast food restaurants need to hire more labor across the day part. And so
An actual milkshake from McDonald's. Look at that.
as they're competing with other potential employers, they need to make the job more enticing, and the easiest way to do that is by raising the wage rate.
And companies are passing these costs on to the customer, especially as states like California have raised the minimum wage for workers.
And obviously, despite this huge wage inflation, there's a lot of other factors at play. I think when you look at inflation within limited service, first of all, you're starting with a lower check average. And so any increase of $1 or $2 that an operator passes on, just by definition, as a higher percentage increase.
I also want to comment on the whole, the minimum wage should be enough for one person to be able to afford his house, like the male of the household, with the kids and the wife as well too. Back in the 70s, when we were on the gold standard, we had the gold that actually backed up the dollar. Now, we just operating off of fiat money at this point, so it's just whatever piece of paper that is going to have value. So, the chain of command is going to be, you're going to have all these operating costs for the food cost, truck cost, the electricity, keeping the ice, for the sodas, and then the CO2 tank and whatnot. But then also you're going to have all these investors as well too. So these investors want to sit around and just basically pocket a lot of money, or if they even have a job and then they're also investing too. They want to see the profits turn as well. So yeah, you could blame a lot of the corporations. They were already having record-setting profits previously. But it's also a percentage as well too. So if you're going to take 20% of a dollar, that's 20 cents versus 20% of $5. You can do the math on that one right there. But however, you're going to have to also take an account for these companies that are on the stock exchange, that they're being publicly traded, that if people pull their money out, then the businesses have to maybe even inject some of their own money to make their stocks go back up as well too. Buyback situations.
Increase on it.
From December 2023 to February 2024, the national average for a quick service restaurant check was about $18, which is 4.5% more than the same time period last year. That's a higher percentage increase than both casual and fine dining. And full service restaurants are capitalizing on the decreasing price gap.
How is this Chili's 3 for me only $10.99 when fast food is so expensive?
It could be because we don't have to pay for any mascots.
Please! I was born for this!
It has created a shift in fast food consumer behavior.
Perhaps before they were going there 10 times, but now they're still only spending $100 and maybe they're going there 8 times or 7 times, right? And so you start to see this traffic fall off because they're still spending essentially the same amount, but they're now going less frequently.
Who's going to affect? It's also going to affect your health as well too. That's where all these pills are coming from. All the oils that these companies use to cheap meat. You know, they're not looking to really. The FDA is not going around making sure that all of this food is top quality meat. You know, we have to do the research for ourselves, and then whenever we get the studies back from independent surveyors, they're not very positive. So these people who go get their Diet Cokes with their cheeseburger and French fries, you know, you can't put 2 and 2 together on that one. Why am I on these pills when I'm getting a Diet Coke? A large one at that.
Although prices for fast food have soared, sales have remained strong. McDonald's, Wendy's, and Yum Brands, which owns KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, have all seen revenues surge past pre-pandemic levels.
A lot of the sales are still going up, and a lot of that's driven by price as opposed to frequency or visits.
A lot of investors are now focused on who is best positioned to drive growth based on volume, because you can obviously only push your price higher for so long.
And that for so long may have arrived. McDonald's missed earnings estimates in the first quarter of 2024, and an Evercore analyst called it one of the most sobering quarters for the fast food giant. Others like KFC and Pizza Hut are experiencing the same consumer pullback.
We must be.
You know, even Starbucks is having to refocus their strategies strictly on coffee, is what one of the head honchos over there started talking about.
Laser focused on affordability, which means good entry-level price points available every day. In the markets where we're doing this well, the business is outperforming. In some markets, however, it's clear we still have opportunities to strengthen our proposition.
100K plus income household are really powering through and still spending at kind of normalized levels, where we see a lot.
Have you seen what's actually inside those chicken nuggets? I mean, the way that those are processed, the way those are handled, and also they're not even cooked. They're just warmed up in a steamer and then they hand them to you.
A lot of the constraint or perhaps behavioral changes is the 50K and below consumer. And so your lower end consumer who just doesn't have enough spending power to keep doing everything that they were doing when the economy had a lot of additional COVID stimulus available.
Remember the $5 footlong at Subway? Well, that's a thing of the past. This turkey sub cost me over $11. The bad news about inflation is prices aren't going to go down. The good news is the increases are slowing.
Prices in general across the economy very rarely ever come down once they've been reset higher. One of the reasons for that is wages, once they're reset higher, very rarely get pushed back down and reset lower.
To combat the decrease in value offered by fast food, chains are relying on apps and loyalty programs. In its 2023 fourth quarter earnings call, Wendy's says that it plans to invest approximately $15 million per food item that actually costs $1.
Actually, the rewards program is a pretty good program, but it does cost the company money. So the more you do shop there, it's gonna, for that discount, they have to incorporate that into the future as well too. So that's why I've never really went to Office Depot. It seemed like you need to be some sort of member. I mean, I'm even a member at Sam's Club, and sometimes those prices are even ridiculous as well too. I go to a grocery store with some coupons on double coupon day, or whatever promotion that they're having, or if it's on a sale too, and then I can double up, get the discount, also put the coupon on top too, and get a much better saving than if I were to buy it bulk over at Sam's Club or Costco.
Really get pushed back down and reset lower.
To combat the decrease in value offered by fast food, chains are relying on apps and loyalty programs. In its 2023 fourth quarter earnings call, Wendy's says that it plans to invest approximately $15 million, primarily in 2024, to further enhance its mobile app experience. McDonald's announced its goal to expand its loyalty program from 150 million to 250 million 90-day active users by 2027.
They haven't been.
Just also think of the infrastructure that it would cost to house 250 million users as well too. That's a huge database, along with if they're going to collect your name, what kind of information they're going to collect, if it's going to be sold to other people as well too, or just even data breaches. Then also you have to have the programmer's UX, the user experience, to constantly just update this as well too. You know, McDonald's is going to have the McRib come every now and then they'll have specials. Like I remember that 20 chicken nuggets was unheard of whenever I was growing up. They only had the 6 and a 10 piece and then a 4 piece for the kids meal. But this is all going to cost money as well too, so that also has to be figured into the overall cost.
Been able to do before is have targeted advertisements that go directly to consumers based on their consumption preferences. And the companies will be able to see almost in real time the return on investment of those advertisements and those promotions that they push to the consumer, because they can tell, I pushed them the promotion on Tuesday and they made a purchase on Wednesday or on Thursday.
The value offered by fast food is something that customers will continue to evaluate each time they make a purchase. And it may ultimately determine how the industry reacts going forward.
Restaurants still take dollars to the bank, not consumer visits. And as long as they're able to continue to drive growth from a value or from a dollar perspective, I think, that's still good news for the industry.
A great way to make the price go down is just don't buy it. The power of a dollar goes both ways. You want a discount? Well, everybody just boycott it. I mean, look at Bud Light at this point. Probably get a keg of Bud Light for $5 nowadays.
Two delegates, 427.
So there you have it, guys. What do you think? Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.